Happy Sunday shift, y'all.
It is a Sunday. We are shifting. We both were laughing because we're like, we both wrapped our hair up.
Yes, again. And we're both, I just noticing we're wearing the square glasses, our head
Mhm.
wrap. It's just,
We're in here. My carpal tunnel is clowning right now, so I have on my thing, and this I have to like hold it up because that's the only place that's comfortable. So I'm like, "Hi everyone.
mhm.
Here is my hand brace. That's the only
um,
position that my hand is comfortable."
yeah, I mean, it's crazy. And I just want to make a brief announcement. I'm not going to talk about it too much, but just for the fans who have been following along, unfortunately, I will not be running for office this November. There's a lot that went down with it, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to qualify for the ballot. So it's not happening this year. It may happen in the future, but I just want to thank everyone for their support. Even folks who are not even from Oakland who supported me, I really appreciate you. But yeah, it's not over in terms of my service to Oakland. And so we just got to figure out what that means next. So thank
Yeah.
you all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of love for Tanya in Oakland, y'all. I went to her kickoff event. We talked about that when it happened, and it was just nothing but good vibes. And we need more people like Tanya in office and any kind of leadership. So I'm happy to support you wherever you do next.
Thank you. So let's support each other on this podcast, though. But first, I just want to say, while I had time off this weekend, I watched Star Trek Discovery and it made me cry. But I
Oh,
mainly watched because I wanted to see where our new guy, like, because they were saying he's an alum of Discovery. I was like, oh, okay. So I watched and watched and watched and watched and watched, and he did not come in until the very last scene. And so he was fun. I mean, I appreciate that he was on the show, but to call him an alum was like,
you're like, oh,
oh. But he was
well,
fine and he had a good part to play and appreciated him playing that part.
he might also be gone from our show. Who knows? Because that didn't look good. It's
Woo.
y'all, a lot has happened. We want to get into the week, but we first want to get into a couple things.
All right.
So, if you are a fan of this show or you follow Tanya and I, you know how we feel about Kelly Monaco and the character of Sam. We love Sam. I always say, I know Tanya's been watching longer than me. I started the year that that Kelly Monaco started as Sam. My
Mm-hmm.
two favorite characters have always been Sam and Carly, even when they were at odds. It actually makes watching very fun.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so we hear that she was fired, and I find that to be so unacceptable. This is a person who is a staple of this show. This is a 21-year vet of this show. This is someone who we know when she is in story, when they're not systemically cutting her out of story, she makes us feel, she makes us invest, she makes us excited to watch. And so removing Kelly Monaco, taking Sam away from the fans and from the show at large, I am very disappointed about it. And I have signed all the petitions and I have sent a postcard and I have sent an email. I'm going to leave a link in the comments of this show so that if you have not done all of those things, someone very smart, I think she's a teacher, made a link tree. And so I'm going to put the link, and that's where you can do all of the things because if we have to say something about this as viewers, as fans, we have to say something about them letting go someone who is so important and vital to the show.
Yeah, I'm like super, super shocked because letting go of a character like Sam McCall is crazy to me because there's so much potential story with her. I mean, especially with, Lucky coming back, with Lulu being in the mix, with her having three children to raise with key characters on the show, her being the daughter of a key character and she's in three key families,
Right,
right?
right.
And so that to me is really shocking, and the way they've treated Kelly Monaco, I think is abhorrent. I'm hearing lots of different rumors about why, but to not make any kind of effort to make sure that they can keep her, to me seems way disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's, I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
really? And people have made a lot of comments about, other actors on the show that could have, been let go, but instead, and so it's, yeah, this is really heartbreaking. And I know it's heartbreaking for a lot of fans. I'm really sad about it. And so, yes, I think if ever there was an effort to try to bring someone back, I think Kelly Monaco's, this effort to bring back Kelly Monaco is super important. So I do hope everyone, if you can, sign a petition, make calls, and an email. Do what we can because she's too important.
Mm-hmm. And we've talked about this like almost every week about the potential for Sam, the
Right.
stories that Sam can be in. I'm going to talk a little bit more about how I felt this week with the treatment of her, but there is no reason that she is not on screen more. There is no reason. It's not just keeping her job, but it's also her having a key story. And this is
Mm-hmm.
not doing, I love Kelly Monaco, have always loved Kelly Monaco. This is not about doing Kelly a favor, right? This
Mm-hmm.
is actually about how key and crucial she is to the show. She has had signature storylines. She has made every single pairing that she's had work. We don't even get to see Sante, and they have a fan base. You know what I'm saying? They've done every single thing with how little they've gotten. And then you're going to bring another person back and not let us see them play out the drama of it. It makes no sense to me. And no shade, all shade. The only reason I have ever cared about the Davis girls is because of Sam. Sam is the like key, the glue to that, like to caring about that. Um, so again, like I said, I'm gonna be trying to like get involved as much as I can. Please, share our words. Please share your own words online. There's Tweet Fest every day. There's so much going on for Kelly. And yeah, please do everything that you can because I think there's time to reverse this decision. Yeah.
I hope so, because
Hmm.
that's just crazy.
Hmm.
Would do we know when her last or supposed last air date is?
They haven't said.
Okay.
They haven't said. They just said the fall. And I know that people think it's fall now. It is not fall until September 23rd. Okay. I don't know
Okay.
what's going on with y'all thinking it's the fall already. I'm seeing people put up like pumpkin spice and sweaters. It's 80 degrees outside. What did you wear sweaters for?
Because I got all the fans on in my house. Because I'm a
Like,
weirdo.
you're
And it
not. I have
goes
all
with
the
my
fans on too.
scarf.
I
It
have all
goes
the
with my
fans on
scarf.
too. But also, like, it's equinox friends, okay?
Yes,
And
Equinox.
climate
Eh,
change. It's warm. It's
oh my
warm.
God. This is actually going to be the coolest day in Oakland, I think, this
Yeah.
week.
Hmm.
So, yeah, that's when we know it's fall, when it gets super hot.
That's right. That's right. Um, the other thing, and this folks have been leaving comments because I know people have come to us from our interview with Jacqueline Grace Lopez, who
Oh.
we adore, and just like think the world of. And I know there's an effort to bring back Blaze, and we have like signed those petitions as well. I will also say, because I know that we were off when she kind of like left, I
Mm-hmm.
will say that I think it is absurd that they would cut her off but leave her homophobic mama. Now, mind you, I love Eva LaRue. That's not ever the problem,
Mm-hmm.
but it feels weird to me. Not weird. It feels bigoted and stupid to me. Let's use real words. Like it feels bigoted and stupid to me to like have told the story where queer people turned against Blaze because she was in the closet, quote unquote, aka didn't tell y'all her business. But like nobody is upset because this homophobe is the COO of Deception. That makes no sense. And it's very clear people who are not connected to that community were involved in making that decision. And I'm not speaking for everybody. I'm going to just speak for me. Christina, like the character of Christina actually needs the character of Blaze because that was the only part of her life that, for me, that made her remotely rootable. Like with her family, she's immature. She like, it will get into that for me and how I felt about her this week. Blaze was the person who made her feel like an adult, who made her feel like she was like coming into her own, and to have started this story and then to pretend as if nobody's even mentioned Blaze since like
Mm.
all the issues that she's had. Nobody has said she lost her baby, which you'd already have a problem with, and she like broke up with her girlfriend that wasn't like her. Nobody's even mentioned that that happened. So you're trying to erase this character. This is what people worry about when it comes to representation, that you use us, you tell these stories, you mine us for these stories that aren't even told well, and then you erase us like we never existed. It is unfair and unfortunate, and we will also leave in the comments of this show the petition that fans have been circulating for her as well. But yeah, there's no reason, um just diversity, like not diversity alone, that's not true because she's also talented, but in order to honor a commitment to diversity, there was no reason to get rid of this character.
And then the actual kind of whole, I think almost whole storyline around her being outed was disrespectful. And you
Mm-hmm.
talked about this. You and other fans talked about one, hiring Paris Hilton to be the interviewer
Mm-hmm.
was disrespectful, and then having Blaze leave, but then her mom stay, and then her mom, yeah, I mean, she apologized to Blaze and Christina, but I think a public apology was warranted, and
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And to have and I think they talked about her making a statement for deception or something like that, and we didn't get to see that.
Mm-hmm.
So that I think that's really disrespectful to have someone, a character, be so harmful and not really see the repercussions of her harm.
Mm-hmm.
Is mad disrespectful, and I think it's part and parcel to what we've experienced when we had the situation with Trina. I mean, not really acknowledging the harm that you're doing when you're making these kind of decisions, whether it's for story or not, is disrespectful to the fans.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I was super disappointed that Blaze had to be let go. I kind of, yeah, Ava LaRue is great. I hope they do something more to quote unquote redeem her, even though it seems unredeemable at this point. But please acknowledge the disrespect and the hurt that you've caused in
Right.
making these decisions, GH. At least make the effort to acknowledge that, you know, because otherwise, I mean, it's just really bad
Mm-hmm.
that they did that. Um,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah,
To your point around redemption, it's like y'all don't even think that she needs to be. I mean,
right.
I'm glad. I hate that Jacqueline's gone. I'm glad they gave her the ability to be like fiery and mad in her last scene and like give
Yeah.
a performance.
Mm-hmm.
And like there was nothing. There was no closure. There was nothing, and it was so disrespectful to fans. It was so disrespectful to that character. It was so disrespectful to the story that was supposedly told. To
Mm-hmm.
even have her and Christina just like be like, all right, girl, bye. Even they had her not even be at the hospital. Not, you can't tell us that these people are in love with each other. You cannot
Mm-hmm.
respect this relationship that you told us that you were telling the story for, and then pretend like that relationship didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem. So again, that we will also put that petition in the in the notes of the show. And I know that I believe that those fans have a tweet fest. This Sunday Shift is not on Twitter, but we will also put the information about like I believe it's a Friday tweet fest they do. So we'll
Mm.
also make sure that folks know about that as well.
Okay.
Okay. Whew. With that, let's get into the show and tell us, Tanya, who are your performers of the week?
Okay, what was going on in this show this week was pretty riveting, but it was difficult for me to choose the performer of the week
Hmm.
because some of the stuff was just like, what the hell? So, um, I want to give it to Dominic Imprognia, even though I did not like what he was doing. But I felt like, okay, maybe he's just worried and lashing out. I didn't like what the character was doing. But always, I'm in love with Dominic, so it doesn't matter.
I mean,
Um,
he was killing it
he
this
was
weekend.
killing it,
Yeah, he
yes.
was killing it
So,
as of this week.
yeah, this week.
Hmm.
Always Maura West. Always, well, no, not always. I still want to give it up to Kate Mansi. I mean, she's doing some heavy lifting, even though folks were like, "Did she have BID on Friday?" Because it was like it was crazy. But I like the. I mean, she's playing just the drama, the dramatics of Christina very well. so,
Hmm.
and so I want to give a shout out to that. And Jane, um,
Did Elliot?
yes, um, she's phenomenal. And I think, having her defend, care, be very worried about Lulu was great this week as
Hmm.
well.
Hmm.
And also, I didn't really acknowledge it, but I mean, she's, serving a crucial role in Violet's transition into the house and trying to help her through that, trying to teach her how to ride and what it means to be, elegant and all that. I think all those all those scenes were really sweet for me. So
Hmm.
Jane Elliott, yes, amazing,
Always, yeah. I
always.
mean, we truly do have some of the best actors in daytime. If we stop letting them go, like but yeah, we do truly have some of the best actors in daytime. And even when I don't
Yeah.
like their stories or what they're doing, as characters, as actors, they knock it out of the park.
Yes.
Let's get into some of the stories. So um, let's talk about Lucky's return.
I,
So obviously, Lucky no longer Africa City, Africa. We know he is in East Africa. They said he was where? Ethiopia, Somalia? Is that what he was?
Somalia, Kuwait, something. I don't know.
No, not quite.
I know it's not Kuwait, but
But
I just
yeah,
like they're throwing out so many different names. I just don't
yeah, I think that he's on the
where he is.
border or something like that of Ethiopia and Somalia. I'm like, so he's not in Africa City, Africa. He is in an actual country of Africa. So yay. And so we see him kind of being on his Luke Spencer maybe, and like kind of working with the WSB and without. And now everyone is trying to track him down because Lulu needs his kidney and Nicholas cannot give it. How you feeling about Lucky's return so far?
Well, this is what I did not want. I did not want him to be on the scene and then not in Port Charles. I wanted them to do something different, like he actually comes back. just maybe he just strolls through the town and be like, "Hey, I just kind of wanted to be with my family." That would have been great. But here we are. We have, and then also I wanted his story to be linked to Spencer coming back too, and it doesn't seem like they're going in that direction. So,
I don't think so.
but there's a lot about it that's like really crazy to me. So, like someone who's holding them hostage and mad that whoever they had kidnapped previously is escaped and now this person is coming in to rescue them. I don't know. There's just something it like if it was me, I wouldn't necessarily want to just, break out a pack of cards and play poker. That's that's just like if I have murderous intent, I'm going to be focusing on murdering someone. I'm not going to be like, let's play some cards.
Okay, Sonny.
Let's have a conversation. Are you married? Do you have kids? What's bringing you out here? Like, what the heck? This is not something that a terrorist would do. I don't know. I'm not a terrorist. Maybe they are,
Maybe this is what they
real.
do.
This is what they do. I don't know. It just did not make sense to me at all. So I think the way they set this up to bring him back, it just seems really like lazy.
Mhm.
And I'm like, they could have done so much more with this. And so it's making me feel like not as excited about his return as I could have been because of the laziness of it. It's just
Mhm.
like, let's Put him in a room and pretend like he's, being held hostage and show that he's Action Jackson, whatever. But it's not, I'm not bought into it at all because
Yeah.
they could have linked his return to something that I've already been bought into and I'm invested in. I'm not invested in this. I just kind of wanted to hurry up and have him get back into town
Hmm.
because I'm so not vested in that part of the story.
Yeah. I think that you're right. I think having him, um, it feels like a dead to me so far.
Right.
I think having him with people who we don't know, so you
Hmm.
have to like invite all of these brand new people into it, feels like not what I'm interested in. If he was like with like Charlotte and
Hmm.
Valentine, like if
Right.
you were able to like connect it to something, I might have been more interested. I think I also don't care about Lulu. I've never cared about Lulu. I particularly didn't care about her specifically when Julie left that role. I've never, um, I, I'm not interested in that character, and so, the urgency around getting a kidney for somebody who's been in a coma for 3.5 years just is not hitting for me the way they think it's hitting.
Hmm.
What did hit for me was the Nicholas and Laura scene. I do think that Adam Huss every time, and I think it's necessary because
Mm.
of how trifling Nicholas has been over the years. Adam Huss's Nicholas like just wears his heart on his sleeve, so you always get like an emotional performance from him, and so you do feel like he's just like crying, and he's like he brings up Spencer and he brings up like all he's done wrong, and so that was like I think really good, even though we only got him for a day, um, but. I'm excited for Jonathan Jackson. I love Jonathan Jackson. I love his Lucky. I don't love this story, and I'm hoping they move it along.
Yeah, and I guess let me backtrack. Shout out to Adam Huss, always
Yeah.
coming through. Hopefully, if they do bring Nicholas back, they choose him because he's definitely, um, did his thing with the character, and everyone likes him. Everyone wants to see, him succeed. So, um, yeah, and I actually do. I mean, I care about Lulu as a character. I really liked it when it was Julie playing her. Um, and I'm invested in the friendship that Lulu has with Maxie, even though it used to be a cat fight type thing. I'm invested in their friendship. I can be invested in the fact that yes, Laura needs her children around her. Um, so I'm okay with the bringing Lulu back storyline, not in the sense that bringing Lulu back could mean that we're losing Sam. I mean, that's crazy to me because there's potential story around that. But I'm okay with that being the reason that Lucky comes back. But so far, I'm still not 100% vested at all. I'm glad that Kirsten gets some hospital scenes and she gets some really emotional scenes. I think I probably would have been even more vested if they actually had flashbacks. And I guess they can't do that because they want to incorporate the new actor and then maybe they haven't hired the new actor to play Lulu.
Shout
I
out to
don't
that
know, but
person's hand.
just yeah, to the hand. But if they had more, I think if they did, because if they weren't such a rush, if they like Lucky could be back in town and they could still bring back Lulu. Lucky could have came back in town and could have been really invested in whatever and still bring back Lulu. So like if they wanted to give themselves more time to hire a new actress and then bring flashbacks of Lulu, like with the new actress filling in, I guess I probably would have been more invested in Lulu coming back because then it just reminds me of how important Lulu was to the canvas. Instead of these abstract stories of like Lulu was this and Lulu was that. I'm like, if I'm a new person watching this show, I wouldn't care about that. I don't care about what
Mhm.
y'all thought Lulu was. I would want to see how Lulu was, and we're not seeing it. So, yeah, I think there's just some ways that they could be doing this story in a lot better way to get me more invested in it. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that part of the problem, um, and I think that we gave the writers a lot of grace coming
Hmm.
out of COVID when we didn't have like a show and they were like, okay, we got our show back. But even before this, but particularly since COVID, they've done such a poor job of doing like connections. So that's to the
Mhm.
point where like when it happens, we're like, oh my God, that's amazing. And it's like just like what you're supposed to do. And so just like the idea that there's never been a conversation of Liz being like, oh yeah, Lucky called Aiden. Like, even when people aren't there, you can keep them there. So now we
Right.
have to tell this extremely convoluted story of where Lucky has been because we don't know where he's been. We barely see Liz's kids. We could have easily said that Lucky took Aiden out, like went to Ireland or whatever it was. Like, it would have been easy to do that, and they chose not to do it. I think with Lulu, we're seeing like Carly and Joss care about Lulu. Joss, what are you talking about? You don't even know her. And then when she was like trying to give an organ, I'm like, Joss, weren't you trying to be a doctor? And you don't know that you can't give an organ? Baby girl, I'm glad you changed. I'm glad you changed plants or whatever you're doing now because that wasn't for you. Like, I
Yeah.
just like what is going on here?
And
And
then
so like if you would have had even when we started hearing that like Cyrus went to go, like we need to hear that these people go visit her. We need to hear that Carly feels away. Or even when she like had that run in with Dante saying, I hear you, I go visit Lulu, I don't see her as much as I should, but I do go visit her. Something to make it seem like they care about her instead of just like wedging them into this story. I get it, they're Spencers and they should be in the story, but you should have been telling the story anyway. And we never get that lead up.
speaking of Lucky as a father, it's not one question. That guy, he was like, so you have wife and kids, and then Lucky was all nonchalantly like, wife and kids just want to eat too, so I'd rather be alone. Sir, I know that was probably a cover as a front for this, terrorist that you're trying to convince of whatever you're trying to convince him of. But that to me was like, uh-oh. So he's okay with pretending that he don't give a damn. He wants to be alone and he's single. And he's certainly acting like it. So that means there's some drama. At least, hopefully, there's some drama coming on. I'm hoping they're bringing Jake back from his summer and wherever that he's doing with arts
Mm-hmm.
because I know he will bring it. Him and Jonathan Jackson. Oh my God, that
Oh, that would be so good.
is so good.
Because Hudson's so talented. Oh
Hmm.
my goodness, that would be such a good scene. Yeah, I've always wanted William. I know he's so busy though, but William to come back
Yes.
and like have some interaction with him because they
Hmm.
both like have the music thing in real life, and I would just like love for that
Yes.
to be kind of a short story between them.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, I don't know because also like it felt like the last time he was there, they had him not claiming Jake or he ain't claimed Cam if ever. So it did feel like Liz only was like, oh yeah, Aiden will be happy to see you, but it was never. I mean, it was also because she thought Jake was dead, but it if you remember, it was like Lucky bought Jake back and then found out that Liz was like holding Jason Drew. But we all thought he was Jason, kind of like didn't tell him who he was, and that Nicholas knew. And so he was like, well, Jason can raise my children or my child or whatever. Like, I'm gonna go. But I specifically remember Liz making a big deal to Sam that Jake thought that Lucky was his dad. Do you remember that scene? It was like uh when Liz brought back from the dead Jake to the hospital. Carly and Sam were like, "Oh my God, that's Jake," and uh, you know, Sam was like emotional and was like, "Oh, that's Jason's son, whatever. Like we should have our kids play or whatever." And she's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah," but like he thinks Lucky's his dad, and we never got like them closing the gap of him knowing it was Jason. So
I don't remember that particular scene, but I can imagine it. I can imagine Elizabeth being like, sure, but Lucky is his dad. I can see her
yeah,
having that attitude.
yeah. I mean, she was worried about it
Yeah.
because
Because she
that
didn't
because
want Jason and them. She didn't want him
yeah, because
interacting with
Jason
his real
was
son. Yeah.
well because Jason it was Jason Drew, but we
No.
still thought he was
Yeah.
We didn't know about Drew. We just thought he was Jason.
Yeah.
Anyway, what a mess! What a mess!
It was amazing.
So convoluted.
He
I
has
thought it
so
was.
much to come back to.
I also thought
Lucky.
it was bizarre that Laura. I get it, like you're the adventurer, whatever, but you also are Ace's guardian, and he has no one else. Why are you taking your ass to a war zone, Laura? Go be
And
a
just
mayor.
dropping him off at the quartermain.
Tracy had me cracking up because she was me. She was like, "Don't he want to be with somebody else?"
Don't he
Like,
want to be with his own family?
and Kevin being like, "I'm glad you know our family tree."
Because we don't. Apparently, we don't know what's going
Right,
on here.
right. Like she's like, "Is it one of Liz's kids lucky?" Like it was very funny. Um, but it also was just like, okay. Them also like going to Brennan, aka we call him Pikeman. What did you feel about the Brennan Anna scene? Because so we know Anna is looking for or no, for Charlotte and
Charlotte.
Valentine to bring them back. She said something to Robert about it. Robert like, I don't know about all this. What do you think about the scene between Anna and Pikeman?
I'm still, I mean, I think, I don't know. I don't, I didn't think too much about the scenes personally. It just seemed like she's on her quest to find Valentine and scratching at whatever straw she can to get it. I just like, whenever he's on the scene, I'm just like looking at him and then imagining him with Carly. So I just don't.
He is too.
Yes. He is definitely. I mean, I love all the scenes he has with Carly. So the scene he had with Anna, I was just like, but yeah,
I thought
that's
the blaming him was interesting, like and him throwing back like, well, you let Valentine go. So
that's
it was
true.
like
I mean, it's all really her,
but it was like really clear that if you know that, then you also know where Valentine is.
right? Yeah,
Like if so I felt that that was really interesting. I think Pikeman like asking Jason to work for him was
that was
interesting.
interesting.
Um,
Yes.
and then him flirting with Carly
Oh
so
my god.
shamelessly, so
He's like, what?
funny.
He's like, I'm gonna give you a call, and she's like, nope, and he's like, okay, I'll text you then. And then she didn't say anything.
The audacity of this man. And Carly kind of looked at him and like smiled a little bit because she likes that audacity too. You know, Carly like a man who ain't shit.
Right? But who is like blatantly courting her, right? I love that. I don't think she's had that since really. I mean, Drew was. I think they kind of just came together, but not in the same way that Brennan
Yeah.
is doing it. Not since. I don't even know if I could really count Jax as that either. But some people are comparing him as the Australian Jax or something like that.
Yeah.
But he's definitely different than Jax. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I just love it. I think it's great.
He's a mess, but
He
I
is.
do enjoy it. I
He's a
do enjoy
fine
it.
mess, a hot fine mess, and I love it.
And with full of audacity. That's why y'all like him.
Yeah, exactly, because he's bold.
Um, we also got Ava in danger.
Wow.
I love how bougie Ava is, and like the way she originally peeped that she was in danger was like, ain't you supposed to be a little bit more poor? How you got this nice
Right.
stuff?
How can you afford these glasses? They're way too expensive on an FBI salary.
Are these Cartulo? Ava said, my life could be in danger, but I know a brand.
Right. This ain't right. And she still looked great too, herself. And
I
her,
mean,
even in her jeans and just the blouse. I love it.
the line of the episode, don't take me to a kill site, take me to a
A
bank.
bank. Because I got it. Hello? I can pay you.
And I loved the line delivery. I mean, more or West, because part of the way this story makes Ava look is a little silly. The fact
Mm-hmm.
that she left with Jagger in the first place, all of that just kind of all like makes her look a little silly. Um, and so the fact that she's just like, I'm gonna be turning in performance after performance after performance, and it's gonna be memorable and believable, even like despite what they got me doing, is just it's another example of Mora Westing. It was that line delivery was just spot on and perfect. She's like, I'm Jerome. I got Cassadine money, girl. What kind of money you want? Okay, you want my money? You want Greek money? Whatever it is, I got it. And I
Yeah,
thought it was really funny.
immediately coming to the conclusion because they're on Route 41. They're going to
Oh, you taking me to the Pine
the Pine
Barrens?
Barrens. I was like, oh, so is that the only place the Route 41 goes to? Pine Barrens. I love it. That's so ridiculous. The writing this week is just ridiculous upon ridiculous.
And then they hit oh boy,
Now, okay, again, I just don't understand. I forgot his character's name. What is his character's name?
no clue.
Alex Anthony something. Um, first of all, he escapes from Somalia.
Or
The next
Ethiopia.
Ethiopia. The next day ends up in Port Charles, right? So there's that.
He flew commercial. Africa, City Africa has its own commercial airline.
Direct to London, and then from London direct to Port Charles.
Probably just direct to Port Charles. Don't even think about London.
Well, that's what they said when he was in the airport. Your
Oh
flight
yeah,
from
that's right.
London to
That's
Port
right.
Charles.
That's right. That's right.
And then he ends up from the airport running along
On
Route
foot.
41 on foot with nothing. Ends up on Route 41. Why?
I don't know. And now I'm also like, did he get hit? Is he gonna be Lulu's donor now? Like, what's happening here? You just bringing black people in to mow them down with cars? Racist.
I just think he's probably going to be the one end up rescuing Ava now. We're all thinking that he might have a love interest somewhere with,
Oh, y'all don't
hopefully
think he's
Jordan.
dead?
Oh, I don't think he's dead.
Okay.
I think I don't even know because I think the way they reacted, I mean, Ava looked kind of shocked, but it was more like, oh my God, we almost hit someone rather than,
Oh
oh my
yeah.
God, we killed somebody.
Yeah. We didn't hear that.
we
We
didn't
didn't hear
hear
that thump.
we didn't hear the thump. We just heard the swerve, right? So so I'm thinking he may be involved in rescuing Ava, which I think might be interesting. I don't know how he's gonna be on the campus, so I'm hoping on the canvas. So, but it was just very random and unbelievable, and the writing there really sucked, but it was almost campy.
It was. It was.
It's crazy.
You know what is campy? Lois and his accent story. The My Fair Lady of it all. I do not care. I mean, like, go into a dialect. Like, please find something better for Renna to do. Please.
Yeah. I mean, it's just very like why? Some people are like maybe Rita's tired of the Brooklyn accent, so she wants to get rid of it. I don't know, but it
Um.
just seems weird
Hmm, okay.
because it's so much a part of who she is, the
Hmm.
embodiment of who Lois is. And
Right.
so why would she ever think that she needs to get rid of her accent just to sell some products, especially when the products were selling? She had one comment tell her that she had a bad accent, and I think the same lady that called in was probably the crew
Comment.
from the
Right.
show. So
Right.
so she heard, one person, maybe two people say that your accent is crazy, and she decides that she wants to change it to sell more product. She was selling more product on that show. They said it. This is the highest amount of selling of whatever we did on the show. And she still felt, oh, I guess I need to change my accent. And she's going around
Silly.
asking a whole bunch of people. It really makes no sense. So stop it, GH.
And then like having Geo, and I'm like, what is going on here? Just absolutely not. Um. So we got the Carly Dante BLQ thing. Um. let me say, Carly has matured because when Dante came at her, I most certainly thought she was gonna be like, "Oh, because you know what you did." So
Right. I
that's what
mean,
I would have done.
me paying off Brooklyn would have meant nothing if you were actually faithful.
Well, that and the reason that she was mad at him is because he put Michael in jail. So,
And
like, if we
she
bringing
was
up past,
always, yeah.
if we bringing up past indiscretions, let's bring them up.
Right.
If we're talking about things that are unforgivable, let's talk about it. Because for me, that was always why I didn't like Dante or Lulu. That's why I
Dante
was
and
never a
Lulu.
Latte
Yes.
fan. I'm telling you, I mean, Dom has always been very like talented, but that floppy hair was doing nothing for him. It's when he came back with a little silver, little short haircut, and Sante is what made me be like, oh, Dom is a little bite-sized snack, ain't he? Like that is what did it. I was like, oh, okay, I get this. But I never was a fan of Lante. I never understood them. I get why they are the couple that they are. I just was never interested in. I've always held a grudge against Lulu, and what she. I always held a grudge against Lulu for how she chose Dante over her family. Always.
Yeah, I really did not like them together for a long time because they were just so self-righteous in their
Mm-hmm.
attitude around Michael and what he was doing, and Lulu just turning her back on her family for a man she, just was really crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I always felt that Carly let them off too easy, frankly. I was like, I felt like the revenge I was expecting. I mean, certainly hiring Brooklyn was not the revenge I was expecting. I felt like Carly could have went harder, but she didn't. And so I was disappointed. But yeah, I never liked it. So out of all the things that, Dante could have brought up to Carly about this was like very minor. And you're right. She could have thrown so much in his face. Um, and again, as far as the couples, I felt like Sam brought out that like self-righteousness from Dante. Like Dante really started thinking about, things aren't as black and white, as a cop or as a person, as a human being. And that helped him develop a stronger relationship with his dad. And so Lulu kept him on that, that God complex that he had. And, Sam brought him down a notch. Sam brought him down a lot of notches. And it
Sam
made him more human, you know?
Sam improved his character 100%.
100%. So
100%. I will also say this. This is like going back because I think part of like we have seen them try to phase Sam out for a long time. And part of the reason they would always do it is like, oh, she's a mother, and act as if that meant she couldn't do anything else. Meanwhile, we see Laura like drop herself into a war zone. So you are only using that excuse when you want to use that excuse. There's actually no reason that Sam shouldn't have been more present. And I also don't like that this keeps happening to her around friendships when it comes to other people. So like when Jarly was getting married, like uh, Spinelli acted like him and Sam weren't friends. He acted like he was just Jason's friend and like, oh my God, Sam. Instead of being like, damn, this is really messed up. I mean, Jason is my guy, but like I do love Sam too. And then now we're seeing that Maxie, though we don't see them together, they're supposed to be friends. And for her to kind of be like, yeah, too bad for Sam and the family they built. I just wish Lulu would wake up and get her man. What? I was not a fan. I wasn't a fan.
yeah, that's crazy. Um, and I also see like all these little kind of character changes in terms of Sam might be almost like the hinting of what they were trying to do. I mean, making Sam so paranoid around Jason, just some of the stuff that we've been seeing her do that we haven't necessarily liked is like, what are they trying to get us to not like her right now?
Mm,
So that
mm.
way they can just bump her off at any point. I mean, just, I
Well, it's
don't.
not gonna work.
It's not gonna work.
I love her. I
So
support Sam's rights and her wrongs.
right.
But did it seem like they're trying to hint that? So I don't remember. I had always thought that Brooklyn and Dante did not sleep together, but now they're trying to make it seem like they might have.
I felt like the reason why Brooklyn felt like she could seduce Dante was because there was something going on with them prior to them arriving in Port Charles. But they didn't really elaborate on it. Maybe it was like a slight flirtation or something. I keep
Mm.
muting myself, sorry.
Yep.
So, but that's all I thought about it. I like people are really speculating like a lifetime that Carly doesn't even know about. Like they have some secret kid out there or something. And I was
So
like,
people are speculating that Geo is that secret kid, but they don't know. So there's people are speculating that Lois, like Brooklyn wanted to give the baby up for adoption, and so Lois said they did, and that kid is Geo, and she kept him around so he could be in the family. That's the speculation, and I think that would be
oh. I'm still like everyone like for me the lost son would make sense with what's his name? Joss's boyfriend. Like we're
oh
still trying
Evan,
Evan, yeah.
or not
So
Evan, Dex.
Dex, right. So
I mean,
everyone's
like
like trying to link Dex with him, and I was like, okay. But now the idea of Geo and it,
I
um,
think that a lot of the fandom has moved, a lot of the Dex fandom has moved
uh-huh.
on to the idea of Daddy Rick, which is a
What?
mess, I know. But I do think that the reason people wanted Dante to be his father
Hmm.
was like a loophole to get out of being in Sonny's crosshairs. And
Yes.
so once it felt like he was out of Sonny's crosshairs, the like desire for him to be Dante's son kind of was like, oh,
Interesting.
yeah, I think that's what the original. I don't necessarily even think that people want this. I think that's just like the speculation.
Okay.
That's why like Lois is so weird around Geo. That's why she was trying to get him out of Port Charles. I think that's some of the speculation that people are having.
Yeah, because Geo and Dante haven't really interacted very much.
Right.
And so maybe she's trying to make sure that never happens. And I don't know. Well, Lois, I mean, no, Brooklyn and him have
Yeah.
interacted.
Hmm. But that's because Brooklyn was living in the old neighborhood.
Right.
The speculation, again, this is all speculation from other people, is that Brooklyn doesn't know that that's her kid either.
Yeah, but it's, when stories like that, they always have like weird instances where like some sort of mother instinct pops up.
Mm.
They don't know what it is, but there's something that occurs between the two. So I don't know.
I mean, that's also why Violet asked her if she wanted kids. Asked her and Chase if they
Yeah.
wanted kids.
Yeah, and she always, well, no, yesterday, she was like, yeah, we do want kids. I
Though it
say
is
yesterday.
weird because I'm trying to think how old is Chase and like how. Anyway, this is all speculation. It might not be right, but that is like what's out there.
Okay.
Um, so that'd be interesting. Um, we also saw that Michael and Sonny made up. Sonny kind of went on a whole tour making up with his children. I will say I did not feel like it was enough,
I agree.
but when I saw the hug, I did get a little. I was like, oh.
Aw.
I'm a sucker for Michael and Sonny. I don't know why. I'm a sucker for it.
Yeah, that's his first kid,
It
quote unquote.
is. Well, I mean
Yes.
Dante, but yeah, that's the first kid he
Kid
raised.
raised.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, yeah, I also felt it was a bit rushed, the whole apology tour. Um, but
But So also Rush to me. So I liked the scene between Molly and Dex. We had Dex kind of like believe that he was gonna call his mom afterwards, or at least think about it. I liked the scene. I thought they had like I didn't think they had anything romantic, and I don't think they're messing around with that, but
Right.
I like Dex having friends. I like people in the town running into each other and just knowing each other. As
Mm-hmm.
opposed to having to be like some big agenda or we're BFFs. We're like, nah, like we ran into each other, we had a conversation, and we moved on. I think
Mm-hmm.
that that actually is a really smart play for soaps. So
Yeah. Yeah, we saw a lot of Dex this week.
and it's
Just
like
at random.
little party city police officer uniform.
Uh,
But the other thing I felt rush, Molly and Alexis making up. I was
oh
like,
God, yes.
no,
I wanted her to, like, I really wanted Rick to be there for some outlandish reason, like, I'm going to sue you for, trying to take my daughter's child away from her or something, like, really
yeah.
crazy. And like, and yeah, that at the most. But I agree. I think Molly should have had more for Alexis. And I
It
think,
also
yeah.
oh go ahead, I'm sorry.
I think if we're moving on to the whole Alexis Christina story, I
Oh
think
no, I wanted to say more about Molly and Alexis, but go
Molly.
ahead.
Yeah, I think particularly because I think Alexis deserves that reaming out. First of all, when Rick was pointing out to her how she was wrong, Alexis was just too clear in that, oh, I know my child, and my child does not need that. Christina, on the other hand, needs everything. And she's not connecting that it doesn't matter that your child, what your child may or may not need. You should want to be there for your daughter who's experiencing this loss. You shouldn't be choosing sides like that. And so I felt Alexis was super wrong, and Molly deserved to ream her out as much as she deserved to, come at Christina. And
Yep.
I think it's really crazy to me that Alexis really truly believes that she does not have to pay attention to Molly. It's crazy to me.
The idea that she never even like called or text Molly.
Yeah,
What? You're like so you did all that and you couldn't call Molly because you had to get
Christina
Christina
out of jail.
settled? What are
Yeah.
you talking about? Like, just like you couldn't even send her a text message, like, I know you're upset. I'm here for you and ready to talk when you're ready to talk. Nothing? You said
Or
nothing?
nothing, and say, I know you're upset, and I just want you to understand that these papers do not mean what you think it means. Talk to me. That could have, you know,
Anything.
you're
But
gonna
she
let
got
your daughter.
nothing.
She got nothing. You're gonna let your daughter believe that you're willingly in cahoots with the other daughter to take her child.
And then like the idea she's like, well, she doesn't need me like Christine. Like that's wild conversation. And then when Molly got there and she's like, well, I would have lost Christina if I wouldn't have told her. You are not the only lawyer that Christina knows. And I wish that it wouldn't have been wrapped up so neatly because Molly should have said the fact that she would have asked you that means that she is immature. She has access to Diane and to and any other lawyer she would want to speak to. She could have spoken to, but
Right.
instead she chose to put you in the middle. And so, no matter what you did, you knew she was planning to keep my baby. The fact that she would put you in the middle of knowing is a problem, and you don't even see the problem. Alexa's really just like and let's move on to like the Alexis Christina Sonny thing. Even her talking to Sonny about like you need to do this for Christina as if Sonny don't got a bunch of other kids.
Here's the thing. I think if I was Christina and I had the ability to hear how my mom was talking about me to other people, I would have been highly insulted. Like, she talks about Christina like Christina cannot function at all. And it's like, I would be like, what are you talking? Like, Christina went through, like, even at the worst part of what she was dealing with in her life, she went through a lot of therapy. They talked about how she built her life back up again so that she can be emotionally stable to run the bar, to start a new company or start a new foundation, to do all of these things, and they were all so proud of her. Now all of a sudden she can't function, she can't think, she's going to be destroyed and distraught over all of these things. And so now you're just saying that you really have no confidence in your daughter whatsoever.
Mhm.
And I would be like, oh my God, I would be highly offended at that if I
Mhm.
was Christina. And but you know what? Now that I think about it, I mean, Alexis has always been that problematic with her. Like, she's always not liked Christina's choices. She's questioned, whether or not she was doing the right thing when she was coming out. She just questioned everything. And so I don't know why I'm shocked, but I'm just like, I can't. Alexis is not a good mother when it comes to Christina at all. And I,
She's
she's
only a mother to
horrible.
Christina when Christina is in crisis. That's the only time she's a good mother to Christina.
I don't even think then, because she's like overprotective,
True.
super overprotective. And so, yeah. And yeah, you're right. I mean, like, it was funny because I was thinking when I was watching that scene with Sonny, I was like, okay, Sonny's the one that's being level headed here. You're going crazy right now. You are freaking out.
Well, Alexis's face when Christina was talking about the baby, she's like, and like baby Adela, and that was my kid, and I have all these like memories. And Alexis's face was like,
Right. But I'm just thinking in the terms of the conversation between her and Sunny. Sunny
hmm
was a level headed one and she was freaking out. It
hmm
was like, you need to save her. It was like, he's like, Sunny was just like, I have faith in you and Diane to get her out of this. And
right.
she didn't have faith in herself. Or the fact that the charges were super bogus and anyone that heard them would be like, what?
I mean, they really had Jagger going out like a cartoon villain. Everything. Now you come down with me. Now you're about to get charged with manslaughter. Now this, now that. Oh, Karen, like it was a mess. Because it was like one of those things. I actually rewatched the scenes because I was like, it's crazy to have Sonny shoot a Fed. Like that's crazy behavior. But then I was also like, yeah, but Jagger was about to kill Ava. Like, it is not as if Jagger was like a good guy. It's not the same as when he was going to shoot Dante or when he shot Dante. Um, I don't know. How do you feel? I mean, how did you feel about Sonny shooting Jagger?
First of all, again, that was all craziness. Okay, so we're like, so they set up a date to meet at the Quartermains, and then we see Jagger at the boathouse. Okay, so I'm like, why are you going to the boathouse? You even like later on said, I am going to enjoy parading you in front of the Quartermains. So why would you go to an out of the way boathouse instead of knocking on the front door talking about I'm here to arrest Sonny? That's first. Second, he's all, what, you think I came alone? Apparently you did, because there's no other officers around. So why are you running around the Quartermain estate without backup? That was crazy. Two, the way that rain came down just all of a sudden.
Well,
It's like a downpour.
I was like, do the Quartermains not have any kind of surveillance on their estate?
Right.
What is
How are they?
happening here? Like,
Ain't nobody heard two gunshots. Second, that's another thing. Why? The man was clearly down.
it's
And
not
Sonny
that's what
was
he
like,
said.
like it felt like he was just gonna keep going. Bang, 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 bang.
I was like, and it was like when they were at the PCPD and Jagger basically came to Alexis and was like, "I looked you up. I know that you know about the inside of a jail cell." And I'm like, "Did you not look up Sonny and know he'll shoot a cop point blank?" Okay, you didn't know that.
Even if the cop was his own son, that he didn't know, but still.
Sonny, you shot your own son.
So you're just gonna go and confront Sonny Corinthos with no
No
backup
backup. What a dummy.
whatsoever.
And you did not say that you were arresting Sonny. You just said you were going to the Quartermains to make an arrest.
Right.
So I'm very confused as to what's gonna happen. I'm very confused as how Sonny is gonna get out of this. But I did think I appreciated Anna finally coming in and swooping down and doing something that I was like, yes, Anna, that's right. Her being an adversary to Jagger made a lot of sense. And I think that's part of the problem because, like, obviously, I love Anna. I don't want Anna to be an adversary to Sonny because we know that Sonny ain't gonna lose. And so I would rather her have someone else. That's why you bring someone else. That's why we brought in a million ADAs and a million whoever else, because a person, it should not be a person who we are long-term invested in trying to take Sonny down. Because you're gonna lose. And so that's I am tired of that storyline for Anna, but I loved her going off on Jagger and being like, get the paperwork, we can't have your people. But when Jagger was like, I'm going to the quartermates to make an arrest, he didn't say Sonny.
Yeah, so that might be how Sonny might get away with this because he did not say who he was going to arrest. No one knew that he was going to meet Sonny except for him.
I like love the fact that they tried to make very clear to us, we know Sonny was whooping people's ass when he was off his meds, but his meds are leveled. Bro is very, very zen right now when he put 2 bullets into Jagger. He knew
Right.
exactly what he was
He knew what
doing.
he was doing.
Very balanced, very mindful, very
Hmm.
demure, very classy.
He wasn't raging or anything.
No.
He's just calmly like, okay. He's like, I think
Um,
that was a classic line. He's like, now you know who I really am.
Woo! Okay. He's like, I'm tired. He's like, you keep bringing up Karen. We ain't doing that. I told you not to come after my kids.
Hmm.
If you
And
didn't
that
come
so
after my
that was
family,
that's unacceptable.
it was giving Kendrick Lamar. If you wouldn't, don't speak on the family, Crody. Like, that's what it was giving. This could have been a friendly fade, but no, no, you came with my family. Woo! I'm interested to see the aftermath of this. I'm interested to see if Jason knew that he was doing this.
Yeah.
Um, like if this was a plan. I want to know. This is one of the stories that has me like, okay, now I gotta watch the show. Now I gotta see what's gonna happen.
First of all, yes, that and I was telling Tracy earlier, Friday was super wild for multiple reasons. And so we saw in the previews that both Jason and Michael are somehow out in this rain reacting to something. So
Well,
we don't know we don't know what Michael's gonna be reacted to because he's got a couple things to be like, what the hell?
well, also, can I just say when Christina took the car and Alexis realized she took the car and Alexis ran out and started screaming Christina's name. Girl, what were you screaming for? The car is gone. Who do you think hears you? But your neighbor is being loud.
It was hysterical. She was
Alexis,
wilding out that day.
Alexis, please. All right, well, let's talk about Drew and Willow.
Again, that escalated really fast.
Okay. First of all, Congressman McConkey. No, like, why are y'all pretending like Drew cared about this man like that? Like this
Right.
man is
I
his
kept
daddy.
thinking, he's like, Willow was like, so someone who you have been, I really understand why you feel so strongly about someone who's had such a strong impact and who you've admired so much. I was like, someone who they just met 3 weeks ago.
And also it's just like, did Nina not know that happened? Because that was supposed to be her friend. It was let me back up and say this. When I saw Michael and Sasha in that scene together, I said, make it right. Make it right. Get back
Get
together.
right, please.
But so they're at this like outdoor campaign event. Drew Q for you is one of the stupidest slogans I've ever heard in
I was
my life.
cracking up. I was like, someone like it was feeling very interesting for me as someone that was actually doing my own campaign and watching how they would play this out. And just seeing that slogan, I was just like, Drew crew for you for what? Like there's no there was no other information on that
What are you
side.
running for?
Right? What are you running for?
Is this a
How do we
business? Who is
who's
Drew
Drew?
Q?
There's no picture of him on there. There's nothing.
Okay, I listen, I was annoyed. But I will also say so now it looks like Curtis is gonna take over Aurora. We got obviously Portia, who is caught up in the Heather of it all because Rick is now taking on Heather's case. And okay, I just want to say somebody left this comment, and I say this I feel like I say this all the time, but I was making a commentary on Trina's relationship with Ava. And I was saying that I like that relationship, but it also creates a barrier between her having a relationship with Portia because the things that she should talk to Portia about, she ends up talking to Ava about. And so we don't get to see that side of Portia. Basically, all we ever see of Portia is her complaining or being like strict or mad or whatever, and that's a disservice to the character of Portia. So I am not. I feel like I said this every week. I am not saying that people have to like Portia. People don't have to like anybody. People don't have to like Carly. I know they don't. People don't have to like Trina. People don't have to like any character they don't want to like. But my point about Portia is that I always ask the question, why are they not giving her anything rootable to do? Every character, like I think the person was like, well, that's not the kind of mother that Portia is. Portia's a written character. They could write her to do anything. They could have easily written her in the aftermath of Spencer's death to be a little softer with her daughter. So I'm not saying that people have to like Portia. I'm saying that for me, as a person who's a fan of Brooke, my question is always, why is Portia never given anything rootable to do? That's my question. And what could have been rootable is this other story that I was talking about. So even with this story that we saw this week, she looked harsh. Now she's mad at Rick. Now she's mad. Now I like all of this. I don't care because you're not gonna make me not like Portia. And I understand why people are like, she doesn't have anything rootable to do. That's my thing. That's my problem. That they could write her to do rootable things and they don't. So
I think there was a root for me there what was rootable in her determination to be there for Curtis in his bogus wheelchair incident.
mm,
So she was there very much for him and being the responsible wife and taking care of her man. That was great. And even this week, they had a little bit of a playful scene where they're like, "Oh, I got the day off, you got the day off. Let's have the day off together." So that was great. But yeah, there's very little for her to be positive and loving and just being a different person than someone that's just angry. And so yeah,
but even in the stuff with Curtis, she
right.
was going off on Anna.
Yeah, she was still going off. She was
She
still
was going off
complaining.
on Laura.
And and Heather of it all. Just, but I saw it. I saw a glimmer of hope in the possible romantic day that they might have. So, but I also saw potential conflict with her not being satisfied with the amount of time that she has with them. Not to mention the fact that she's co-chief of staff of a hospital, and that the time that they don't have together is partly due to her job as well. But bygones, they still have, you know, that they still have the romance. So, hopefully,
I
they'll
just
lighten
have
up a bit.
never, I've not ever rooted for them as a couple. I get
Right.
it. Whatever. I just, sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
sure. I'm sure that way too because I don't like Curtis. So, but I'm happy for her. But she's got a man that will run for every white woman ever. But still,
in my mind, when you said she had a man, it was like Shantae's got a man at home.
Shante.
Portia's got a man. But anyway, Also, who has a man at home waiting on her? Willow.
Willow.
These transitions are really transitioning. They were not planned. We're just really doing this. Um, Willow got a man at home, waiting on her, while she is comforting Drew. Woo! I mean, it's very soapy. I will say that I actually think that they have chemistry. I think that Willow and Drew have way more chemistry than Milo have. And I think I don't like them or like it, but I get it. I understand why it happened for a soap. And I think when Willow doesn't look uncomfortable, like she's running away from him, it does it doesn't bother me as much. So like the last scene they had together when she was like, trying to fight her feelings or whatever, it came off as him being creepy. This didn't. Now I was like, Drew ain't shit when he shot at Willow out in his speech. I said, Drew, Drew Q, what is this? Um,
No, but
but
now, if you don't know the context, what he did was, normal. Like, because when you're on a campaign, you got to shout out to the people that supported you
sure.
100%. And so if you didn't know that they were having a little, fling, you wouldn't think anything of it as an audience member. And I was just like,
However,
I was like, whoa.
particularly knowing that she was saying that she's trying to get away from him.
Right.
So you're pulling her back in. That was
Yeah.
trifling. And then like into my nephew Michael for choosing her. I said, this
Sir.
is Ryan Lavery behavior, okay?
Ah, he's in his Ryan Lavery. Oh, I get it now. Okay.
He is in his Ryan Lavery
Lavery.
era. Drew Lavery.
Era. Drew Lavery for show.
So they got Michael just looking stupid out here. Like, where my girl at? Kids asking for Michael. Mama out here.
But it was just like, it was just the fact that, okay, yes, you're right. They do have a level of chemistry because, I mean, even we knew as soon as they started like being friendly that something was going on. Like this is not uncle niece-in-law behavior. Right, so we knew that wasn't happening.
Correct.
And so we knew that, but again, Ryan Lavery has chemistry with everybody. So we were joking like, okay, Ryan Lavery, pull it back, pull it back. But then when it became clear that it was about to be something, they were like, what? And so they were having the conversation and they were, he was, grieving over, this, senator, and she was comforting him. I still was not expecting.
Oh, I was definitely expecting.
I wasn't expecting how like, so are you feeling what I'm feeling? Me, a man that wants you. I was like, so you're gonna be bold with it. You don't even care that you are going after your nephew's wife. You're just like, I'm a man and I want you, and you want me, and we about to get it on. Like that was so.
In the same place where I've got it on with your mama.
With right, I forgot too. He's been with their mama
Several times.
He has got no F's left. And what's shocking is that yes, he's definitely like Cameron Matheson is on his Drew Lavery, but this is not Drew, whatever his name was before Quartermaine.
Kane.
That is not the character of the Drew that we know.
No,
And
no.
so that's what's wrong with it, because it's out of character for him. Not out of character for Cameron Matheson, but it's out of character for Drew. Mm-hmm. And so that is the problem that I have with it.
Particularly because we saw him like push off Oscar's mom when she was coming at him.
Right.
Like we've seen him have so much discipline.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen him like turn on Elizabeth when he was with Sam. Like we've seen him have all this discipline to then turn around And like, I still don't understand what memories he has. Does he have his? He's like, oh, when I was in the military, do you remember that? Or do you have Jason memories? What's going on?
Right. And it's not something that Jason would have done,
No.
nor would Drew. Like we saw, like when Drew was Billy Miller, um,
All right.
he had a tight relationship with Michael.
Yeah.
Very close because of the whole we thought he was Jason thing. So they were very close. So this is not something that Drew would have done to his Michael.
And I want to know what happens when Jason finds out. I hope Jason whoops his ass.
Ooh. Because Drew's been acting hecka shady to Jason.
Hmm. Oh my God. And when Carly finds out, because she was like,
Oh,
ooh,
yes.
what a
Because Carly and
disaster.
Willow, whoo,
Monica gonna put Drew out because Monica love her some Michael.
they're all gonna, like, they might put out Willow.
Tracy,
They're gonna, like, we got your kids, get out.
and that's the part because they will take them
They
kids.
will take the kids.
Well,
And we're like, we sorry you had the cancer thing, but get out.
sorry about the cancer.
No. You are not gonna be cheating on Michael in this house.
Not in this house. Well, that was the week.
It was such a week.
I'm looking forward to next week. I mean, it's gonna be
Yes.
4 days. Do you have any more hot takes before we hop into previews?
So it's hot taking. I don't know. All of this stuff escalated really crazy to me.
I loved the scene with Carly, Elizabeth, and Rick.
Carly was like, Carly was
Was
on fight
she
with him. She
was
didn't
she
care.
bent down next to Elizabeth?
Yeah, everyone like that was shared on social media how it was funny how she went because I think somebody made a comment on X that it was cute how Laura looked for the camera and bent down, and then Brennan he was like, yes, that's my Carly because she will hone in on a camera like no tomorrow, and then Laura Wright was like, yeah, you know how she does. So that was funny that she did that.
Yeah, that was really funny. And she was like, "You chain any women to the wall?" Ah,
Take your problematic behind out of here because you don't belong in this hospital. You have no reason to be here.
and when real life and the show coincide, when Ava said, "Take me to the bank," I laughed because I don't know if you've like seen this news about the Chase glitch where people was like getting all this money out of Chase Bank, and I was like, "Oh, is that Ava?"
Taking everybody's money.
Anyway, those are my two takes. Oh, the other thing. So you remember I had the quote and I couldn't remember who said it, and everybody reminded me that it was Brad and Terry. And I
Right.
can't believe it because I really loved their scenes. We do not get enough Brad and Terry. I do hope that Brad comes back. I do hope that we get more of them. But yeah, I forgot that was a Brad and Terry scene when he said something about being shady. I can't
He's
remember.
shady, but I'm professional or something like
Yeah,
that.
something,
Yeah.
something, something. Oh, I might be unethical,
Oh,
but I'm not incompetent.
incompetent.
That was Brad. I should have known. And it's crazy because I just watched it. I don't. My mind was somewhere else. But
Yeah.
thank people in the comments for reminding me. You ready for next week?
Yep.
All right. So Monday's a rerun. It's gonna be Christina going out the window again. They're trying to get the most money they can out of that shot.
Okay.
Tuesday, Rick and Elizabeth reconnect. Sam opens up to Christina. Jason makes a discovery. Willow makes excuses. Chase investigates a crime. Wednesday, Holly returns. So separately, we know Holly's return is supposed to be tied into Lucky some kind of way. Um, Another strike against Lucky's return because I don't care about
Like,
Holly.
why? No one cares about Holly.
Um,
Ugh.
Drew confides in Curtis. Ava gets a surprising assist. Christina turns to Michael. Sonny and Carly strategize. Thursday, Sonny is alarmed. Alexis confers with Diane. Nina is determined. Trina advises Jocelyn. TJ has a heart-to-heart with Rick. Friday, Sonny gives Jason a critical task. Lois is full of surprises. Jocelyn blasts Carly. Mm. Anna issues a warning. Elizabeth is dubious. Huh.
It may be because she's hanging out with Carly, hanging out with Sunny too much. I don't know.
Yeah, I
That's
mean, or she could find out about what happened because I'm sure that Carly's gonna
oh
help
yeah,
Sonny cover
cover
it
it up.
up.
Yeah, exactly.
So we shall see. Well, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. We appreciate y'all so much. Again, I will leave the information about supporting Kelly and supporting Jacqueline in our comments. Let's make sure to fight for the show we want to see.
Have a
Anything
great
else?
week.
Bye. See you next week.
Bye.